Chopra, who is very good, and he, of course, is a Hindu, as he at least readily admits, I think, or alludes to, and I'm not. So I'm interested in that division line between what he tells us and what I know. Now, what I know is that I've been and seen above the fifth plane, or at the fifth plane, what I call God, and you can argue as to what God is, but it's more than my perception of me, a lot more. It's really everything, but it definitely is a place, and when you observe it from another place, because you're there and you move into it, that means that there is time and space to a degree, but it's a whole lot different than the time and space that we talk about here on Earth. It's really knowing that you can go somewhere without effort. You're there when you put your attention on it. You're there. It's bigger than travel. It's bigger than what we call astral travel. Much bigger. It's simply moving your awareness from one spot to another. So Deepak was talking about, what am I? Who am I? And I say that you're basically just a pair of eyes and ears. That's it. Your attention. That's all you are. The rest of it is physical attributes and of little interest to me. All I am interested in is that when I go into it, I am it, and it's pretty amazing. Yeah, I mean, I don't do this every day, and I just wish I could. If I could, I would never come back here. There's no way I would ever decide to come back to this place here if I could stay there. But I have jobs to do, and I have work to do, and so I do come back. It's not even close for the most part. The best you can do here, the closest you can get to it here, is love, and that's why we call God love. But it's more than love. Even it's more than anything you can perceive. You can't perceive it. It perceives you. It gives you it, and when you're ready to be able to be it, you go there. That's all I can say, and I can't go back there unless it wants me. It has to want me, or else there's nothing I can do. I can give all my attention to it, and I can hear it, or even see the colors of it, if that's an explanation. But in order to be in it, it has to allow you there. You have to have earned it, and you're not going to get it unless you have, because it would probably kill you if you did. So, I mean, you probably would just flat die if you were drawn into that when you weren't ready. So you don't want it until you're ready. You shouldn't want anything until you're ready, and you have to earn all of this stuff. It's not free. Nothing is free. There is no free lunch, despite what you're told by everybody here. I've said it many times, but it's always true. You earn exactly what you're allowed to get. Now, the next topic I have here is, are we all equal? And I say nobody is equal. We're all on different paths, on our own particular path to love, and no one is equal to anybody else because we all have different things to learn. So to say that I'm equal to you is ridiculous, or for me to say that I'm somehow better than you are is totally ridiculous. There's no way that I am, and there are plenty of things for me to learn that you know, and there are plenty of things for you to learn that I know. And we'll get them all? I don't know. I don't know if you ever get them all. I think not. I think you just keep on trying. But once you get into that center that I just talked about, you know you've done a whole lot, and it's totally unbelievable. And you don't have a mind when you do that. You're above mind. I don't even understand how you can know. I don't even understand how you can bring it back. But you do. I went there. I came back, and I remembered it. But there wasn't any mind to remember it. So how does that happen? Most of this is a total contradiction. I don't expect anybody to understand what I'm talking about. I don't even necessarily understand it myself. I don't understand it myself. So that's it's crazy. It's just crazy. But I do know this. God is not a person. Jesus might have been a wonderful person, wonderful man, but he isn't God. Once you've been there, you know where everybody stands. Nobody is God. No person can be God. It's just way bigger than that. That's all I can tell you. Okay, next I'm going to talk about moving up through from the lower levels of awareness up to the God level. And what happens is, first off, and I've actually talked about this once, I think, on a video, but the first thing that happens if you've never, I wouldn't say never, but if you've never gone through this, there's an explosion that's incredible. When you cross that first void into the astral world, and once you cross into that astral world, if you're continuing, you hear the sound of bees, and I just got that this morning when I was doing my spiritual exercises. You look around and you go, "Where's that bee?" There isn't any. And you can do this. You can, if you're doing a creative exercise, you can get into that astral world pretty easily. It's not that hard to do, but it's a pretty crazy place itself, and it's still within the mental realm, so you can think, and you can carry it with you, and so you move into the next plane, and you hear these bells tinkle. And they're pretty nice. It's sort of like Christmas bells, they're real pretty. And you get into the causal world, and that causal world has everything in it that's ever been invented. But I never stayed there long enough to actually see any of that stuff, but others have. And then you go from there, you go into the world of mind, and that when you cross that line, and every time you cross these lines, there's a serious difference. It's not just a small thing, it's serious. There are color differences in every one of them, and every one of them has its own feeling about it when you're there. But the next world is the world of mind, and you hear these violins playing, and this can happen really fast. You can go from the explosion to the violins in what seems to be a second, but you hear them all as you cross these lines, and then you go into this from the mental, the subconscious, which has its own. It's not a separate realm, but it's its own place, and you get a little different sounds there too. And then when you cross the big one into the fifth plane, I can't tell you what happens because I can't remember. It's just you're there. Pretty nice, and it's what I was talking about in the beginning of this. You're into a place where God is. God is the center of all of this. So I don't know what level I experienced it the first time. I don't know what level I experienced it on. I really don't. It could have been any of them, but that's a continuous level basically. It's subdivided, but nothing like what when you cross that first line when you got that explosion. That's a huge explosion. It's a strong. You've gone someplace when you cross that line. So that's it.